Hello everybody and welcome to FinTech Futures. We are here at day 2 of Money 2020 in Amsterdam, and right now I'm very happy to be joined by Bahadir Yilmaz of ING. Bahadir, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you. I'm very good, thank you. I'm very happy to be here. We've got all the activity around us, all these people that I hope the camera's picking up. But it's really fantastic to be here with you. We've caught you at a really interesting moment because you are on the cusp of going on stage this afternoon, right over there on the big stage at the end of the hall, which is really exciting. Can you, before we go into what that session will entail and more about what ING's plans are with technology and more specifically AI, maybe you can give our viewers just a little bit of a snapshot of who you are and what your position is, please?
Yeah, of course. This is Bahadir Yilmaz, and I'm the Chief Analytics Officer at ING. I've been working at ING for the last 13 years, and since last year I'm holding this position. I'm leading all the AI development at the bank, and we and my team are working on digitalizing banking processes using AI and machine learning.
That's fantastic. Well, yes, on that note, AI and machine learning is two very leading topics here at the conference this week. It's very difficult to get away from it, and I believe it's one of the foundational stones of your session later. Can you tell us a little bit ahead of time what that session is going to entail?
Yeah, later today I will join a panel discussion on the digital transformation trends and the enabling technologies related to that. And of course, my focus will be on generative AI, and I'm going to talk about the impact of this new technology in banking transformations.
Fantastic. Well, very exciting, and I hope to join you there in the audience, watching you, if my schedule allows. I really do hope. But that's a very interesting question, and let's build on that. ING obviously is a very well-established bank. It's got a lot of processes, a lot of technology at play. AI, although nothing new, I think its innovations and capabilities are really being harnessed now in a way to achieve new heights, which is really exciting. How is ING's approach to using AI? What is that approach like?
Yeah. I think we are right now seeing the second wave of AI transformation. The first wave started in mid 2010s, with the introduction of big data and machine learning. And some fintechs, some neobanks, but also ING grasped the power of it. And so we built all of our processes, organizations, platforms to be able to cater for that technology and also using that in our transformation. But the real thing happened a year and a half ago, with the introduction of ChatGPT. Everybody started to feel it, everybody started to touch to it. So that introduced a new game, where it is much more tangible and it is much more impactful. So we think we are ready for that transformation with our people capabilities, with our technological capabilities, and it's going to be really transformational in the upcoming decade.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's really exciting to see a bank like ING sort of test this technology and really test the limits of what it's able to do. It's very exciting. One of the topics that I've really witnessed here throughout the sessions of the conference is the use of data within these AI models and how these models are trained, what they're able to reference, and essentially where they get their information from. In terms of ING, what does your data strategy look like to ensure that the AI models or large language models do not incur any bias in their decision making?
I think there are two breeds of models there that we have to evaluate separately. First part is homebrew models, and second ones are the ones that we are relying on somebody else's models, foundational models. And the approach is similar. So for homebrew models, we have some regulations that are setting the boundaries, like GDPR, but we also have ethical boundaries that made us put together some sort of procedures to evaluate and measure the level of bias. So these are a bit our internal measures. And we are constantly improving how we are doing this certain procedures. But on the other hand, we are using more and more models, foundational models coming from big tech and other vendors. There, our principle is do not believe on the declaration, but test it yourself and see whether it's enough according to bank standards. And developing those new standards and new measures is part of our challenge right now. So we are really constantly spending a lot of time, a lot of research on how to measure bias, how to measure hallucination, in not only on our own models, but the models that we are picking up from the market. So twofold approach.
I really like that approach. I think it's from the sounds of it, very, very cautious. I think that ING is very precise in what it would like to achieve with AI. And I really like the sound of what you're saying in terms of testing these models and really seeing that they are doing what they're intended to do. You know, working in finance and in banking is one of the most regulated industries in the world. And I heard on a panel yesterday that, you know, you could never just give AI free rein across a bank because the regulator would never allow it. Now, if we look at AI specifically within the regulatory field of Europe, we see that the European Commission is really sort of doubling down on its regulation of AI. This is best noted in the assent of the EU AI Act earlier this year, which is still sort of coming into motion and being realized and complied with. What are then, from ING's perspective, the regulatory hurdles in embracing the technology?
We see Europe's leadership in regulating AI as not as a challenge, but as a competitive advantage. We already have tons of experience in managing models, governing models, measuring models, making sure that like models are fit for purpose. So as a financial industry, we already have kind of a head start compared to other industries, but also compared to smaller players in the market. So that means like our organizations are more future-proof in making sure that like these models are used in a proper way. So I think governing it and like having a regulation that is governing it within Europe is gonna make us safer, all of us. And also is gonna give some banks, especially bigger banks like with a longer history, a slight competitive advantage in adopting them. I think this is what something Europe did very well.
Yes, I would agree with you there. I actually reported on the arrival of the regulation. I really think that it's a trailblazer, and I think that those European institutions, including ING, that choose to comply with it and actively take out those measures to be compliant, will be the ones that lead the way in how it's deployed within financial services. One of the other interesting conversations that I've been witness to whilst I've been here at Money 2020 Europe this week is that the implementation of not just AI, but technology at large across a bank must start almost, you know, it must be innate. It must start from the top down and reach everybody. How does ING then foster a culture of innovation within itself?
We have a much more internally focused innovation approach for the last 2-3 years. So like we are thinking like innovation does not necessarily have to be external or like new products. It can also mean like making our internal processes much more efficient, effective, and like it can make our services much more suitable to customers' needs. That's our innovation approach. We are not necessarily looking after like new partnerships and fintechs, but like we are really looking at technology and like we are trying to see how it can make our processes better. That's why we are not approaching it from a technology point of view. We are approaching it from a process and product point of view. We are seeing our products and processes and like we are seeing where do we really need help from this technology, and like that's why we are applying these technologies to few targeted domains. We would like to do these like few priorities better rather than trying this technology everywhere.
Where are those priorities at the moment?
Yeah, I think I would separate it into two groups. So like first group is like what we do within the walls of the bank. We want to make the banking machine a bit more efficient. There we use it in know your customer processes. We are going to use it in contact centers, and we are also going to use it for coding. So like these are our biggest groups in terms of number of people that are working on these processes. And also in client-facing areas, we're going to use it in contact centers. And we are also going to use it in marketing. So like our idea is all of our clients are receiving the same email from us. Like maybe we should, to a degree, based on their consent, personalize that message that we are giving to them. This is going to help us in satisfying our customer needs more and more.
And that's a really fantastic point that you just touched on there again is personalization within banking, another leading topic here at Money 2020 Europe this week. And it's almost shocking how innately tied the topic of AI and personalization are, and how one pursuit can almost not exist without the other. In that frame of lens, then, Bahadir, where can we expect, after all of those sort of tests and initial entry points that are done within ING across your marketing, across your communication channels, where else can we then expect to see AI arrive within ING?
I see a big gap at the product layer, and I will explain why. So we see a big dominance from the infrastructure players like NVIDIA, AMD, and like they really pumped up their valuations, but like they're also dominating the market. On top of that one, we see a dominance from the hyperscalers, so like Google, Microsoft, IBM. These are a bit like dominating with their platforms. But what we are not really seeing yet is like the product layer. So like we don't see like products that are like commonly used across the industry, not only in banking, but also in the other industries. So that product layer is gonna come, and like we're gonna see more and more products that are specifically coming either from fintechs or other startups that are gonna be industry standards. I think we saw this revolution with some of the software as a service vendors 10 years ago. So that type of revolutionary wave is gonna come, I think, in the next 4 quarters. That's what we are not really seeing yet. I expect that to evolve further.
Quite soon though, really, in the next 4 quarters, yeah. Maybe next time when we meet again in Money 2020 next year, if you can tell me all about the benefits of that advancement. And I really look forward to that conversation. But I understand now that I can't keep you for too long, because I understand you have to go and prepare for your session. How do you feel about going off on that stage over there later on this afternoon?
I'm very excited. I think it's a very trendy topic. So bankings are not necessarily the most attractive part of like the industry. But I think with the new wave of digitalization and like new wave of AI, like we're going to be much more attractive.
Fantastic. Well, good luck to you. Thank you so much for this interview, Bahadir. It's been a pleasure to speak to you and to get ING's perspective. Thank you to everybody who tuned in online to listen to this conversation. I hope you enjoyed our conversation just as much as I did. And if you would like to find out any more about ING, AI, Money 2020 Europe, or technology advancements across banking in general, please head over to our website, fintechfutures.com. Until then, see you later. Thank you.